Yo boys, my name's Zach, and today I'm gonna help you find the reason why people lose respect for you in conversations and why you seem to always be the beta in all the conversations that you have. And there's one main point that I can give you, and that is you need to become the initiator when you're having conversations. So this is something that I've always known to be true, but the other day it really clicked in my mind that the people who gain respect from you and the people that you respect because they're the initiator in the conversations, the people that take the alpha status in their conversations are the initiator. So what does that mean? The other day I went to this private country club that my friend got me into, and he was introducing me to a bunch of people, and I decided every person that I meet I'm going to shake their hand and introduce myself properly, maybe ask a question about them. And I realized that I gained so much respect from some people because some people didn't really go for that. So my friend would say, "Hi, so-and-so, this is my friend, this is my good friend Zach." And I would instantly go up from there, shake their hand, say, "Hi, I'm Zach, nice to meet you." And people respected that. And then there was obviously some people, usually more of the alpha male type guys, not to be cringy, but they would come in first with the handshake. So I found it a sign of high status and things like that. So I wrote here a few things you can do. Obviously, I gave the handshake example. Be the person that goes in for the handshake right away. Now, I would find the number one reason people are scared to do that is because when you meet someone, sometimes they're not always expecting a handshake, especially if it's not in a professional setting where you'd usually do that. So usually if it's not in a normal handshake setting and you go in for a handshake, there might be an awkward half a second where they don't really realize you have your hand out and they don't really realize what's going on, and they'll kind of look at you like, "Oh," and not really realize. But it'll be perfectly fine. It's literally half a second of awkwardness, and once you get past that, they'll respect you for it and you build better rapport with that person. Ask the questions first. Don't be the one getting questions asked to. You want to guide the conversation and put yourself in that position to gain respect. So ask questions to the person, things that you're actually interested in. Don't just say dumb things, but things you're actually interested in. Like yesterday, obviously, I was at the fancy country club, so I met lots of owners, lots of important people, so there's obviously a lot of questions that come with that. Little side point I wrote is say what you want. That goes with the question. Don't ask questions just because you think they'll like that question. Just literally say what you want. I'm trying to remember. There was I met one of the chefs at this, excuse me. I met the executive chef at the country club. They have a restaurant there. And you'd think oh, you meet a chef, ask about the kitchen or whatever, how's that going? But I literally noticed he had a fancy watch on, and I literally asked him about his watch because I was genuinely interested in that. And I already had some knowledge of that watch, and I know a bit about watches. I'm a bit into it. So I was able to kind of elaborate on it, and I could actually have a conversation about watches with him. That's another way you get respect, is talk about things that you know about and you can have a conversation about. If I just said, "Oh, how's the restaurant business going?" that would have been boring, and I don't know a ton about the restaurant business, but I know something about watches, and I was genuinely interested in that guy's watch, so I asked about it. And the final point here is, if you want to have the upper status in conversations, you control where the conversation goes. So if you can sense the conversation going down a steep slope towards a boring, dry conversation, literally change it. Same with that. I met the executive chef. I could have talked about the restaurant, and since I didn't know about it that much, the conversation would have got super boring. So instead I talked about his watch. I asked him about his watch, and that was a win-win because I gave him a compliment and I got to kind of give myself a chance to prove myself to him and find some middle ground with something that we both find interesting. So that's really it. The main points is be the initiator in conversations, be the one guiding the conversations, Don't be afraid to be more outgoing, like initiate a handshake, ask them a question, build that rapport that way. And that's really it. Your action step today. Sorry, my bubble's way too big. If I could give you an action step, it's really just put all this into practice, these 4 things, and literally go have a conversation with someone and try and, even if you don't go straight to being the alpha male, just try and think of how you can guide the conversation better, make it more interesting for you and them, and initiate properly, and people will respect you way more if you're more like that. I hope this helps. Subscribe if you'd like. Have a good day.